I ultimately decided to create this project around the LGBTQ community and the discrimination they face, as well as how this affects people as a whole. Right off the bat, I'll say this. I'm not trying to cause any arguments or anger or anything, as a lot of what I have to say is just kind of my opinion on the whole matter. Not everyone will agree with me, and I respect that. So without further ado, let's just get into this. In a research article in 2016, results show that 1 in 4 adults in the LGBT community have faced some kind of discrimination in their life. This could be at work, like in business meetings or just around the office, or in some other public place in general. For some, their sexual orientation or identity led to them being fired, which doesn't seem to add up. I mean, this person could have been a great colleague or employee as a whole, so why fire them over something they can't change? In public spaces, people have to hide their sexuality due to what might be said to them, as well as what might be done to them as a whole. The same issues apply to school settings as well. Around 65% of all LGBT students have had to deal with some kind of discrimination, and this comes from both students and staff members. This may seem like a pretty huge number, though from personal experience, I can say that I'm one of those people. It's already hard enough going to school, constantly thinking about what others are thinking about you, and having some kids saying slurs to your face doesn't seem to help much. Personally, I found it somewhat amusing, as this kid was in my art class. If you don't know, most art classes are pretty chill and laid back when it comes to how a person looks or identifies, and I had people who stood up for me as well, so it was all okay in the end. I can say that this was the only time something like that happened to me, and it was the only person as well, though many other kids have it much worse. On top of being affected emotionally, some students are hurt physically over their identity, which could lead them to not want to go to school at all. This can lead to quite a few issues, such as a lack of concentration or lower grades as a whole. More importantly, this intolerance could lead to depression, anxiety, eating disorders, or other mental health issues in those who have been exposed to the bias. Because of this, suicide rates are much higher in LGBT children and teens as well, and recent studies even show that 2 out of 5 teens in the community have thought about committing suicide at some point in time. Now, I understand if none of this matters to you, and I get why it wouldn't. Most of the time, someone's views on the LGBT community are solely based on what their religion teaches them, and in some cases, being gay, trans, bisexual, or any other aspect of the community is strictly prohibited. It may also be based off of fear or just a total lack of understanding, as stigmas associated with the LGBT community are and will always be a part of society. Politicians also play somewhat of a role in the continued discrimination as well, because from as far as I know, none of them have ever really openly stated that they've supported the LGBTQ community, as that would cost them votes, followers, or even their job as a whole. Finally, although it might sound cliche and kind of cheesy, I'd like to go back to what is said in Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird. I think there's just one kind of folks. This comes from Scout, who is 8 or so when she says this, though I still like to think about things like this. Sure, it might not be fully true to some, though at the end of the day, we're all just people. Also, discrimination is not just towards one specific group or person, but the list is endless. In most cases, it's not as bad as it was, but there's still a long way to go. And hopefully, we can put our differences aside every once in a while and push for what will not only benefit us, but society as a whole.